Hello guys, my name is Davai Kalnastion. I'm from MA4A class, and in this video I will describe to you about shape. Let me start. What is shape? In physics and mathematics, the dimension on or dimension of a space or object are informally defined as the minimum number of coordinates needed to determine the point in it. Therefore, a line has dimension because only one coordinate is needed to define a point on its surface. Example, point on the line number 5. Surface, such as planes or surface of a tube or sphere, have both dimension because two coordinates are needed to determine a point on the surface. For example, to determine a point on the surface you need latitude and longitude. The interior of a cube, tube, or sphere is three-dimensional because it takes three coordinates to determine a point on its space. In its space. So there are three dimensions, namely one dimension, two dimension, and three dimensions, which will be explained as follows. First is dimension 1. Dimension 1 is a dimension that only has one dimension element, namely length. Dimensional object can move freely to the right and to the left. An example is line. And the second is dimension 2. The second dimension is a dimension that has two-dimensional element, namely the element of length and width. This two-dimensional object can move to the right, left, up, and down. Two-dimensional objects are also often referred to as flat shapes because they are characterized by having area and circumference. Examples include rectangles, squares, and triangles. There are several examples of or types of two-dimensional object, namely painting, photo, batik, weave, picture, poster, mosaic, and calligraphy. Number 3 is three dimension. The third dimension is a dimension that has three elements of length, width, and height. Three-dimensional object can move to the right, left, up, down, front, and back. The third dimension is also known as wake-up space. One of the characteristics of three dimension is that certain objects can be filled because they have volume. Examples include cubes, cylinders, statue, and house. There are several types of objects in three dimension, namely the first is cubiquities. Cubic are objects that are shaped like cubes and blocks. For example, such as pencil box, cabinet, table, TV, refrigerator, trash can, tissue box, and so on. Astigmatism. The second is a cylindrical object are objects that have a shape resembling a cylinder or tube or eclipse. Example of cylindrical objects such as glass, bottles, plates, bowls, teapots, jars, and gas cylinders. Free. What is free object? Free objects are objects that have irregular shapes, such as trees, stones, fruits, and other natural objects. 4. Cones and pyramid. Cones and pyramid have a different base shape, or circle and square, but have the same vertex. Examples such as the dome of the Moscow, the funnel, and the trumpet. Round or ball. Round objects are objects with curved sides such as ball, marble, and watermelon. Technical. Fourth dimension or fourth dimensions. Fourth dimension 4 has been applied to the medical world, namely in the use of ultrasound. These four dimensions are three dimensions that can be penetrated. An easier example is that you can see an aqua glass for the outside, which is still full of water. This is our view of the fourth dimension through the third dimension. For the coordinates, the fourth dimension is a line that goes through the x, y, and z axis. Number 5 is 5 dimension. This five dimension, in my opinion, is a hologram. This hologram is a real life, aka like a real shape in three dimension can be touched. We can see the contents of this three dimension from the outside and we can penetrate this. At the Bank Indonesia, this has been implemented. If you enter the lobby at BI, you can enter a museum there. In this museum, you can see the flying coins and it's a five-dimensional hologram. You can touch it, you can touch it, slide it. Even in this hologram has a feature to see the history of money. That's all from me about SHIP. Thank you very much and goodbye.